Well, I hope none of my French-speaking friends ever see this and audit my attempts to help this poor fella navigate his interface to find himself a free company. I always assume when confronted with languages that I should be familiar with and not exactly following inside an MMO, that what I'm seeing is MMO language. I'll never forget when I played World of Warcraft in French briefly and saw people advertising for the Hero Day for their heroic daily dungeon, something that is... No one says anything like that in English. There's no cute summary there. And yet, understandable. And also apparently the common parlance. This is why tools like Duolingo are so unhelpful for anything other than base vocabulary acquisition. English as she is spoke is simply not the same thing as what you learn in a classroom. Language emerges from communities of speakers, and it is extremely difficult to convey through documentation. The Tower of Babel was a very dark moment in human history. Anyway, we've shaved Big Beard Bear. Let's see where else we've got to go. What little gods are made of. The Elder Seed Seer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nafika's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Long Point. Let's go. Whoa. No, come on. Do it. There we go. Okay. Mischief managed. We're being held hostage here because this will surely kick off a cutscene. But we can't afford to turn on the music here. What do you think? Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seed Seer awaits you within. No, not yet. Turn on the fucking music. Quickly, before it gets to the bouncy part. Just let me out of here. There we go. That part was fine. I had reason to believe that it wasn't going to dump us straight in the cutscene, but we couldn't take that risk. There could be no music in this chamber. Ishtola. It would seem that Ida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan, but this time around, well, even I had my off days.
Now, the hero of the tour, let us not keep the Elder Seed Seer waiting.
You should have seen the Maxio when we got back to Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was gonna shake Papalemo's hand off. Really, they do handshakes? That's hard to imagine. Difficult to visualize. Hello, spooky lady. How could I stay away?
Heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this.
Yeah, you're still haunted, though.
I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without.
That's a very vague sentiment. Could we clarify what that means? Is it the fact that I'm working with a bunch of genocidal colonizers?
I cannot deny that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartanel, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest.
You could just let the Alamegans in, dude. You said the elementals wouldn't let you? Fucking talk shit.
So too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all.
Okay, that's gonna start with you being nurturing, even if the elementals say that you can't. Like,
must be as one.
It's time to stop
Yet I fear
calling
that
on the
still
Eorzean
follows.
parliamentarian making excuses for what you are not doing. This liberal fixation on inaction is repugnant.
On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both,
Fuck the
I
elementals.
thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done.
Or you can't talk to them, but I assure you they've said that we have to be
Full oath have I
inhumane.
been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
I'm not so worried about that as with the ills of the realm, lady. The ills of the realm. Look to windward.
Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent.
Ooh, rippy. Ooh, I
Voices
gotta go
of the
throw some
forest,
stuff in the dryer.
Pray speak, and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
I don't like her. I don't trust her. And I'm gonna go throw some stuff in the dryer. Dryer ship managed. Got family stuff going on this afternoon. Need to dress reasonably.
Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Long Point? I had hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Urianger too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Erwin? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day?
Well, that sounds absolutely cozy, buddy. There was no need to conjure you back there. I liked it just because we get to see that wonderful appearance, you know. Not too bad. The twins, I mean. It's the same thing that he said last time. What does he mean? Which twins? Which twins? Tell me which twins. Oh, wait. Things in here have changed. Ozen, the children are quick to take to Eorzean ways, but I cannot claim the same flexibility. Duty calls? Well, no matter the task, I have faith you will see it through to the end. Tataru, more like Traderoo. Take care, Erwin. I look forward to hearing all about your adventures when you return. Sure, why not? Koharu. Hey, Mr. Longpoint, what's a Ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was a pale imitation of authentic Doman cuisine. I don't doubt it. Kultene. Mayhap one day we shall accompany you into the field, but for now we must see to less glamorous duties. Speaking with Master Kultene has opened my eyes to a great many things. I had no idea the world outside Doma was so strange and wonderful. And terrible. Worried about leaving us alone? Don't be. While the Archons are away, Oribodu will keep the little ones safe. Mr. Longpoint, is it true you're gonna go adventuring again? I'm so jealous. We can't do goofy voices for the kids because they get fucking dire dialogue. Whose parents are dead? Raise your hands if your parents are dead. Raise your hands if they were killed for basically cynical reasons that would never have advanced their needs and well-being. Minfilia, welcome back, Erwin. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Eleven, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Askian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. Love a short quest. Thinking about this in terms of number of quests, and you love to see a short quest when you're thinking in terms of number of quests.
If everyone is ready, let us begin.
Let's kick this brainstorming session off.
The floor is yours.
My lady, this floor is held in common.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
Finger trap.
It is my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence.
Ooh, get skeined on.
In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension.
Become as orb.
The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
Could feel it in her tippy tail.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
What does that mean? Clarify.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to
Yeah,
recall
thank
what we
you.
know of etheric behavior.
Thanks, I was really hoping for some definitions here. I appreciate you anticipating my need. This is going to be another one of those wonderful PowerPoints where she's standing in the void explaining things. Yes! Yes! Huge win.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm.
Bye!
In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
No, but it's not coherent enough to call it reincarnation, right?
Decree, the way of all mortal souls.
It's more like everyone's made up of everyone else.
Twixt this world and
Just
the
like
next,
in real
the
life.
current swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
You okay have goopy horns.
Primals behave
This
somewhat
is the
differently.
worst.
In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether,
Constructs.
most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether-given shape.
I like that Orion, they look kind of like they can see this. This is not an
Thus, a
abstraction.
defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
Just as we saw, Bahamut was not
There it
defeated.
waiteth till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
So it's not clear to me whether they were wrong or just speaking in limited detail, but it's not actually the same being that comes forth again.
These so-called immortals, they exist in a manner all their own.
This is a man who I would describe as immortal.
Even as the Sahagin elder
Oh,
fell to
well.
the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
Oh, that's interesting. So that wasn't even visible to those around, I guess.
Disappeareth not upon the death of the flesh.
We could probably see it because we're super magic.
The secret of life
It
everlasting,
changes their hat, too.
and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
There's
It
always
won't
Organization
fail to return to the
13
ethereal realm.
waiting
It
to
seems
pick people
doubtful
up.
that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
They get to chill on the beach,
Yes,
huh?
it exists in neither this realm
Some
nor the
Death
next,
Stranding shit.
abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took
The
control
prospect of
Bangkok
doing,
by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people.
The nice portal to the beach. We'll never forget anything you've ever done wrong, Thancred. Every single failing that associated with your body is indelibly scorched on my mind.
Hath brought us unto an answer.
Why does he have the goofy horns? Is he,
But he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan.
This is what happens. You get time off, but you don't have plans ready to go. Your boss just sneers you right back in.
Like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection.
Ting! Good custom animation there. Or maybe not even a custom animation, just fitting the particle effects to an existing animation. A good one, either way. I guess if it was
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive.
if it was a custom animation, it should be made an emote.
Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy.
What idiot.
Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
Called it a fleshlight and not a bottomless hole.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Asian soul.
Or a bodiless
Yet, I
soul.
believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
The Demon Souls remake looks so embarrassingly good. It's disgusting. I can't believe how good it is.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
I wonder what it would look like on a 4K screen. I don't know if I will ever see a 4K screen. I have so little interest in that shit. And it's expensive. But there is a
Beg pardon,
curiosity.
antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian.
Higher,
Their
oh
findings shall soon be
higher.
known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
So is it, he must be an Elizin and it's just his ears, right? Wait, he's just got little ear pouches. Is that what it is? I hate it. I hate it truly. Whoa. Kingdom Hearts. Wait, this is just Organization 13. God fucking damn it. Another terrible fate that lies in our... The Lord of Levin is returned to the ether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing, says Nabriales. Emeraloth, Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whorl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the bringer of light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. 7 times, so each of the calamities are rejoining? Is that what we're to take away? I know some stuff about this, but not enough to really evaluate what they're saying. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we must bend our every effort. It's him! Another one! La Habrea! Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eosia's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Oh, spooky statue, spooky statue. Is that Zodiac? If that's Zodiac, that's my wife. It's a pretty cool Zodiac. Nice short quest, night short. Wait, no, that wasn't a quest at all. Damn it, it was just a cutscene. Guardian of Eorzea. Now the matter of Ramuh has for the present been put to rest, there is something I would show you, Erwin. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's timeless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals, Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King, Mogglmog the 12th, the Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you've done. In the course of your duties, you've never once failed to answer my call to arms. You're a true hero, Erwin. And Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. I never know how I feel about these sequences in games where there's like the moment of deference for the player character from the NPCs. It is often impossibly embarrassing. Dragon Age Inquisition has a whole crowd clap for you, and it just fucking sucks. It's the worst. And in both there and here, the only reason we're so useful is because we have been chosen to be useful. I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much here, I will say. This is fine. I have done a lot for these people. Also, what is dripping on my foot? What's the deal with that? There's literally no drip on the edge of this table here. What's going on? Anyway, Eorzea is safe for our presence. Very true. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Askians may be relied upon to sow chaos in the realm until such time as they are forced to stop. While even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. Well, as long as we keep murdering them and working with the people who murder them and provoke them, this is fucking does not negotiate with terrorist situation. This is a situation the United States, a 9/11 happened, something that as an objective act is a terrible thing, a nightmare act. And yet the idea that there might be a legitimate grievance that perhaps needs to be addressed in order to empower people in that region who would prevent the kind of folks who want to do a 9/11 from doing it, the idea that there is a grievance that could be acknowledged is completely shunted aside because we do not negotiate with terrorists. You need to understand why the people, not necessarily even the specific individuals, but why the neighbors of the individuals responsible for things like terrorism. Summoning of primals is essentially a form of nuclear terrorism. Why they are acting, and why they live in communities where it is possible for such extremism, such violent extremism to come about. You can't just go and kill them all unless you are ready to do a genocide, which apparently they all are. I'm not hot to participate in. Minophilia, you gotta stop enabling America in harming indigenous people. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. I can think of a few. Bread for the hungry. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you've won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Not the people who keep actually causing problems, because we are allied with the people who are causing the problems. The sylphs of little solace who wish not of conflict, apart from the branded ones. Valisay, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. Yeah, we've been down there with her. And then there is Sid, and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, you must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow scions. They're a bunch of goofballs. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Askians. And combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming and antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. I'm 99% sure that this is Alphie now. Yep. I know my boy. Alphie, no. I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. Yeah, that's all settled. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. That's gonna go well. I have a message you from the, You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Well, good. It was just fog of war. Why, Alphie now. I do understand you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name, and you made it look like he hadn't. That's very funny. I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. I would say, and they called it back after we'd forgotten about her, except that we mentioned her right before this conversation, so clearly she was still on our minds. Still, I like that. I had totally forgotten about her after going on prolonged rant about the nature of foreign policy and militarism. I like him projecting that he doesn't care. Erwin, you may have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. And I suggest you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take the opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town. Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozen was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit?
Uh-huh.
Do 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 do. After we parted in Ul'dah, I paid a visit to the refugees. Though a fundamental solution remains far off, I believe that at the very least, there should be no armed uprisings in the near future. I'm given to understand that you resolved the matter of Ramu. I will ask Menphilia for a full report when next we speak. You've done well, Erwin. You could do better. I realize that you must be quite tired from your travails, but I would most appreciate it if you could find a moment to speak to young Yozen. He's been through much in his own right, I'm sure. Hey, Yozan? Yozan? Doma is Japan, right? It's not China. Yozan, those aren't, San, I don't believe, is a Mandarin syllable, although God knows if it's ancient China. I had exactly one semester of classical Chinese, and I was not, it did not stick. It was interesting, but I mean, I couldn't tell you anything about it at this point. The storm is past, and a moment's quietude is ours. Tataru is using her newfound time to further her studies, and I would follow her example. If living in Eorzea has taught us anything at all, it's that such restful moments are fleeting. I don't understand what's dripping on my toe. I don't. What is wet? Nothing is wet. It's not like some kind of weird nerve damage, is it? No, it feels real. I don't know. If living in Eorzea has taught us anything, it's that such restful moments are fleeting. Dark clouds ever stir anew on the horizon.
With the Roman younglings dashing about hither and yon, there's hardly a moment of peace to be had. That said, traveling with Ida, it's not as if I knew much peace to begin with.
I told Flamin all about your adventures in the Sylphlins, fake Thancred and all. You want to tell the all Thancred, will you? So what exactly happened there? Did it just cut something? That does sound kind of familiar. Maybe it was something that got removed in the rework. And they were just like, don't worry about that. I do not know where we would be without Higiri. The girls work tirelessly for us every day since her arrival. Do you suppose all Doman women are so diligent? I like you trying to become racist here, Flamin, in like a positive way, but why are you viewing her as a part of a monolith? Deware. Despite all the hardships that they have faced, the younglings pursue their training with great zeal. The older ones would do well to follow their example. Coltonair. Ah, Erwin. Care to watch the lessons before you journey on your way? I dare say your presence would go far to inspire the younglings. Repetition and routine begets skill. Skill begets confidence. I would do what I can to see the Domies regain their strength of will. Yeah, I think skill does beget confidence. I often feel like a patchwork skill set has left me feeling insecure in many ways.
Never is a woman more lovely than when she's hard at work, I say. A wild rose, strong and beautiful, blooming tall in the face of the frozen wilds.
Or wins. Agiri 137, 138, 130. Oh, hello there. I've been charged with keeping inventory. Flamen tells me it's vitally important. Oh dear, I seem to have lost count. Sorry, that's my fault. Hosen. Many of my countrymen have found work as frontier hands, helping transport supplies and continue the expansion of Revenant's Toll. I've been tasked with keeping the equipment here in good repair. It's not particularly glamorous work, but I would help in whatever way I can. Oh, you love that violate the Geneva Convention video games Twitter account. How many war crimes have we committed? How many genocides have we been party to? Too many, I think. Too many. Roca. If I were as big as a mountain and strong as a bear like Mr. Boulder is, maybe I'd like fighting more. You don't have to fight, kiddo. You taking a rest too? Promise you'll play with us again soon. That game of hide and seek in Vesper Bay was the most fun I've had in forever. Yeah, kiddo. Yeah. Yozen's always been the strongest of us, but even he's no match for Kaharu when she's mad. Hey, Yozen. Man, even as I sit here, I think that my complaints about the framing of primals is not a criticism of the writing in the game. It is more of an in-character response, I think, than anything. I mean, obviously, if there were some way to express agency, which is obviously completely impossible in a game like this, that would be cool. But really, I'm just impressed that I'm able to have. I think that the game is not unaware. Has repeatedly acknowledged, recognized the kinds of things that are freaking me out about all this. I'd just like to see them come more to the forefront, you know? I'd like to see the central conflict being the ethnic cleansing of the beast tribes and all that shit. All this stuff with the kids being victims of war is great. It's really hitting. Like, I feel a little embarrassed almost that I find it as affecting as it is, because it is pretty simple, but it's working. There goes the power of good dialogue. A good book will really help. Look, it's Mr. Longpoint. I think they'd call us Mr. Longpoint. They don't understand that it's just a title. He's back from his adventures. We heard you are fighting primals and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Longpoint? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Oh, it's Brick. Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonay, did you know that Mr. Longpoint is back? Alright. So we see, welcome home, Arrowin. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Ori Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonay. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we've taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the art of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore, we are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Longpoint if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Arrowin? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Ori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, maybe I am. But what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from such a lesson? What say you, Arrowin? Would you consent to spar with me?
Uh-huh.
Hurrah, we're going to have a tournament. Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing. Good. Little goofy crest. Do try not to disappoint them. Have faith, Codenay. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. I like these people. Anything new to say, Codenay, about your boyfriend wanting to get trounced by me? Is this like a sex thing? I think that what's going on here is that Codenay wants to get railed by the man who got smacked around by long point heroin, which, yeah, I get it. I can see how you'd want your boyfriend to have particularly storied bruises. That works for me. Oh, wow, damn, what a vision. That is the Crystal Tower, right? Because we're gonna have to go there sooner rather than later. Still not exactly sure when we're gonna do that, actually. Let me look around a little bit here. Well, that was a bit of a digression. Using. Missed a long points here and let the battle begin. As we left the Rising Stones, Mr. Thancred asked us where we were going. I told him we were off to watch you and Mr. Boulder fight, and he looked very surprised. Hope we haven't made him cross. Thancred can fucking eat it. Shun. We had a master of lessons back in Doma, and the way he taught us was very different from Mr. Boulder. I'm not sure which way was better, but I think I like them both. Whoa. Is sparring dangerous? I don't think I want to see anyone else being hurt. Since becoming a scion, I have had much opportunity to hear news of your epic deeds. I must confess then that my excitement rivals that of the children's at the prospect of seeing you in action firsthand. Codenay is not a comedy Frenchman, he's just a Frenchman. We say the comedy Frenchman is gonna be Estonian. Or a Boulder. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Arrowin. I trust you're ready to begin. Of course I'm ready to begin. Hello, very well. There's no keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ari, you said you wish to fight him alone. This is arrow in your face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Arrowin to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember this is for the children's sake as well as my own, as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blood work.
Hello! You haven't begun yet, have you?
Oh, this must be, what's his name, Thancred? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's Thancred. Ida, who are all these people? You know who these people are.
When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on?
Yeah, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Erwin's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic, while my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake.
Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He is a master swordsman. I've killed countless gods! You can win, Mr. Boulder. Can we let him win? I mean, we shall soon see. Oh, your god. Ooh, paladin on paladin violence. Here to see it. Do. Not doubt about my skills. Now comes the time to test them. This should be interesting. Yeah, sorry. Even level 6 Such power, the tales barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder will lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. The children have the right of it. This time I join the fray. On your feet, Ori. Back up. And back down. One little slap. Sorry, buddy. I'm a little harsh. Mr. Longpoint is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. I must admit defeat. It was an honor and a privilege. Can't disappoint the younglings. Never have I faced such strength, but the lesson must continue. 'Tis your example I follow. Surrender not the implacable foe. You invulnerable? Well, no longer. Please, what if we killed him? What if he's dead now? You bested me, or you'd. That was incredible. He beat them both at the same time. Whoa, who's this powerful twink? We knew you couldn't lose, Erwin. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they sent you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. You'll be branded an instant. Please don't fight the primals. It's bad. There's a reason they send me. I was chosen by God. This isn't like real heroism here. I have no choice. I am a slave. You don't want to be a crystal slave. Impressive as always, Erwin. It is ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. We need to find a voice for him, and judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. You beat up an instructor. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Cardno. The time I was attempting to understand this land of Eorzea, I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. Well, millions of people live here, or however many. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended toward their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, and nations too self-involved and unstable. Pretty sure the primals represent a threat to the world, not just to the continent, so, you know. Good luck turning your back on us. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, often infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though we never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. A wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the roots of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Askians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Oh, I've just realized when we're going to have to do the Crystal Tower. We're going to have to do it as soon as this chapter of NG Plus ends, because you can't have 2 NG Plus chapters open at once, and to try is to delete one. So if we want to do it before the end of 2.x, which we very much do, it would not make any sense coming after it. Then we're going to need to do it a little earlier, and both a little earlier and a little later, I guess. Then ideally we'd be doing it interspersed with the rest, but then I would need to be doing all kinds, like playing through the NG Plus over and over off screen to return to where I was. It would be great to be able to have 2 NG Pluses open at once. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anybody got anything new to say? I'm sure you do.
I wish Ida were not so eager to look to the future when we have so many problems in the here and now.
I can't wait for Alphie to start his new company. I love making new friends. Wait, he hasn't mentioned that yet. Spoilers. I fear Ida's boundless optimism is beginning to affect my better judgment. Your tendency to triumph against the most terrible of foes is certainly not helping matters.
Your bout with Hoary Boulder was more stirring than 100 lines of my most passionate poetry. Mayhaps I should arrange a sparring match of my own.
Thancred, just start sleeping with men. Like, it's perfect fit for you. No, this won't do at all. And then I'll have to... Oh, hey, Long Point. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment. Deware. Our Doman farm methods have been adopted here on the frontier. It is too early yet to know if they'll prove to be effective. Well, I certainly hope so, because otherwise they're going to have a hard winter. Flamin. 'Tis not enough that I am here for my daughter. I must do what little I can to help you succeed in your monumental tasks. This place has become as a hive, and its bees flit about in constant motion. Perhaps a soothing pot of tea will coax one or two to alight and take a moment's rest. There's so many people to talk to. They all have shit to say. Ozen. My people's spirits were thoroughly crushed by the loss of our homeland. But thanks to your courage and generosity, I see their inner flames once more flicker back to life. I too have felt my strength of will make a gradual return. I thought the idea foolish at first, but it seems that this sparring match well served its purpose. Why, I can hardly wait to return to my studies and see to improve my technique. Good spirit, Coltonay. Roca. I like the way Master Coltonay fought. No swords or fists. I wonder if I studied hard like that, would I be able to cast spells too? Yeah, you absolutely could. Koharu. Mr. Boulder is sore and beaten. Said he'd return straight to his training. I don't think he likes to lose. Oh, are these 4 fucking kids gonna show up as a party of adventurers? I think it's only been like 2 years, so probably not. Shiun says we need to decide who in our adventurers guild will do what. I'm fairly sure Yozen will have to be the sword fighter. He always has to be in the thick of the action. Yozen is best dressed, without a doubt. Mr. Boulder fought well, but he was no match for you, Mr. Longpoint. Just you wait. One day he'll be good enough to knock you from the top of your mountain. I hope so, kiddo. History does not run on heroes. Longpoint, or Erwin. I must thank you again for agreeing to our bout, and I must thank the gods 'twas not a duel to the death. I will, however, cherish the lesson of each scrape and bruise as I work to better my sword play. In an earlier JRPG, they would have become maddened with jealousy, become our rivals. I feel certain that has happened. That was essentially what happened during the Lancer questline, right? Eosian 9 to 5. I can't believe that was never a title before. Oh shit, we shouldn't talk to Alphie. No, we should talk to Minfilia. Thank you for coming, Erwin. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Not yet. Just want to hear what Minfi has to say. With the primal threat presently subdued, now is the perfect time to focus on new endeavors. Alphie has long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into a reality. Pray lend him what aid you can. I'm pretty sure this is going to go well. It's going to go well. Alphie has always been organizationally competent. I think that he should have a private army. He seems up to that. Give more 15-year-olds private armies. Why don't they yet? Just hand over the keys to the murder engine. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the 3 nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution will be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus toward unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It'll be on a much smaller scale than we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. It is my hope the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. Fledgling. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, though, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning grand company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit all 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. God! Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know the bringer of light and is discerning I will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Laminsa, that is rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Alright, one more trip to every fucking major city. I mean, we haven't done that often enough, have we? Just go fucking talk to everybody again. Just go talk to Alphie at Bulwark Hall. I mean, why not? It's where the kid likes to hang out. Let's go talk to him there. Conveniently, right next to the Central Aetheryte, so there shouldn't be any problems at all with Rock. I'm centered. I'm thriving. Holy shit, it's loud here. Oh. Oh, hey. Hello there. You're looking good. How you doing? Anyway, let's get the fuck out of here. Alderskif. The music in these cities is so overpowering. Alphie, here you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blowfishman. While the Admiral and I are finalizing permissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who otherwise may remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't rage into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you're satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we may prepare for the next leg of our journey. Just go pick some people up off the street. I mean, you know, why not? And just make sure you get some city slickers, you know. Don't worry yourself about picking up anybody who might be out there in the wilderness. Or, for example, the refugees who are still being completely neglected in Ul'dah. I guess we want to make sure that these people come from all over. Anyway, let's just go on pause while we look for folks. Looks like we've got no fewer than 2 problemtunities up here. Not you. You are but herb. Where is greater than herb? Carvalane, an organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say your proposal intrigues me. Yeah, you sound like a smuggler. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. I hope that we are about to talk to 15 people over the course of like half an hour who all have the exact same feelings about this. I hate this armor set so much. Pig penis. Pig penis, damn you! Rainer. Pretty sure you're busy here. I feel certain that I've interacted with you. Master Alphino's new organization. Yes, I'd heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, though, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Laminsa needs to receive my full attention. We're just going to go and try and recruit the chief of police. I guess in a fantasy world, that's the kind of thing that happens. Out here in real life, he's busy covering up massive crimes. Yeah, I guess we'll just bop back down to the aft castle. Ooh, that's very shiny. Oh, she's attuning herself. That's why it looks like that. I was like, how come it doesn't look like that for us? How about you, Rushvin?
Hey, who the bloody hells you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvalane's door.
Didn't we already do that? I think we did. I think he was the... No, that was Rainer. I mean, Carvalane? I don't know. Anyway, we got somebody right down here. I admire the rain. No, let's just enjoy the rain. Rain should suppress the music generally. That'd be a cool effect. Damn, but it would also kind of imply that the music was being played by a live orchestra that existed in the world. I hate this. I hate this truly. I hate it. It's cursed. Hananza, a precursor to United Eorzean Grand Company. While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldic and Vimelis keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be tracing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, though, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Where's our last lost soul? Over there? That's far enough away that we can go on hiatus. How about you, Real? You're our last hope. Well, if it ain't Erwin. I'd not forget a venturer brave enough and daft enough to take the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. Whew, we're losing it. You remember old Rio, don't you? Formerly the Company of Heroes, 3 whistles at Bronze Lake. No, not really, sorry. It ain't often I drag me arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? You looking to put together a new crew? Top-tier work? Sounds like a right lark it does. Alrighty, lad, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Oh, we actually got one? Okay, well, I was getting ready to flash my feelings on the screen, but I guess it's not quite true anymore, but we'll do so anyway. Let's just see what poor Alphino would have gone through if not for that man's acquiescence. Right there. You're just 15 and nobody wants to join your paramilitary death squad. I need more use of those image overlays. I've made a number of goofy... Oh my god, how do we get to the fucking airship here? We teleport to the central ether, right? I think that's what we do. Let's go meet the boy. Let's go meet the child. Ooh, back in the Noise Central. Where are we headed? Just right over here? No, right over there? Why am I confused? These two directions look too similar. This is true. This is probably... Yeah, I guess Ul'dah is the odd one out as far as how annoying it is to get to the boats. I'm looking for the custom house. I'm looking for the admiral. I was looking for a fort. Welcome to the heart of Limsa Laminsa, the mizzen mast. It houses the airship landing, the adventurers guild, and at the very top, the command room for the admiral, from where she keeps a watchful eye over Limsan air, land, and sea. Surprised they didn't say whence. The crow's lift will carry you up and down the tower as fast as the crow flies. You need only speak with Grafar and tell him where you wish to go. What? Oh, that's weird. Just some greeters, huh? Hello, lift attendant. Take me to the airship landing. Hey, Alpha No. Erwin, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Mensa. Ah, a member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope my visit to the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nafika's altar. Oh boy, this is a little plotting here. This is just a little bit plotting, you know, just heavy feet. Back to the Conjurer's Guild with us. This lady is big. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I'd be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates is run dry, let us rendezvous with the airship ticket counter as before. Can't you just use the etherite to teleport? You've been to all these places. You could. You really could. I know you could. Take me to the amphitheater. Zoop. It's like our first target. It's right here. At least these folks are all kind of clustered. Laurentius. Don't remember you either. Your name seems familiar. Oh god, this is the guy who was betraying them, right? Who ended up getting turned over to the red fellas. Oh god, it's gonna truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Who could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Buscaron. Yeah, I remember. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder jail. I like Gale. It changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? What is your policy on reformed convicts? I don't believe in the carceral state. So, yeah, absolutely. As matters stand, the Wood Whalers have not more to do with me. This may be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this, I promise you. I am a changed man. As I recall, your real problem was that you weren't being paid adequately. And if I have anything to do with it, and of course I won't, they won't consult me, you will certainly be paid as well as is possible. It would be amazing to learn that Alphina was running this shit as a for-profit concern. Chengaled. 'Tis not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited. This company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. Fair enough. Usandel, this dude doesn't seem like a man-at-arms. He was a butler. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions. I'm both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me and bear responsibilities for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. Why? You were barely even a participant. You got out as soon as she did real serious crimes. The idea that you would inherit... that a laborer would inherit the crimes of their exploitative employer hurts my soul. It harms me. What does Isildur think? My back is perfectly fine, I tell you. You'll have to untie me to my bed. If you think to prevent me from... Perhaps I will rest for just a short while. Sathindra, you know why this place is called Apkalu Falls? One once tried to breed up Kalus here, or so the story goes. Looks like it didn't go too well, though, unless they're really good at hiding. Imhitra, how are you doing now? Oh, okay, she's actually got quests for us. I hate that cat. Milith has also something we cannot ask her about, so let's just keep moving. Alian. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest, or your tormented back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry. We were just... Oh, you're the Long Point. It has been some time since our paths crossed outside Copperbell Mines. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how far you've come. Mother Mune tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order. Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. The Lord of the Rings joke, Isildur? If you would have me, I would be glad to join your new company. I shall make for Revenant's Toll once I've escorted my dear friend back home. Alright, airship landing, and that means teleporting back to the central airship in this city. Let's go. Let's get the fuck out of here. I am allergic to the vibes. It's actually very pretty. At night, all of the soft camphor glow. How do we get out of here? How do we leave? How do we leave? Do we have to go downstairs to get to the airships? That seems very backward. Wouldn't they prefer a perch? It seems that they would not. Maybe there's like a big cliff next to us. That seems familiar, actually. What news, Erwin? For my part, the other seeds here was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah while the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Yeah, we're not taking this boat. What? No, stop. Set me free. Here we go. Is this the right spot? Yeah, opposite side of the gallery. The nighttime music is okay here, right? Yeah. Alphino. Ul'dah, the gilded city where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Erwin. Woo! Oh, the crunching of cat bones. I'm supposed to land on my feet. Hello, Wilred. Have we met before? Can't see as I remember. Wait, you're the man who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Any road, that disaster really got me to thinking about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions. And you say it will take me to all corners of the realm? That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met at Little Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Were you the ringleader of the wannabe primal summoners? I can't remember which one you were. Anyway, long walk, so... Landebert. If you come to tell me the news, soldier, well, I've already heard it. Seems the would-be savior of Ul'dah's refugees went and got himself killed, and not by your hand. He was just as much of a pawn as the helpless cast-offs he sought to deceive. That's not why you're here. You'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. Maybe we should onboard that information and not just ignore it, because it's Final Fantasy XIV, and there's a lot of lines that can pass by as if they were filler dialogue that in fact were not. I hope we mention that to Alphino, although presumably Alphino is aware. Sintcoat. You look like you fight a company that looks to cure the ills of the entire realm. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundra of a neighboring nation. I cannot help you. My fortunes have fallen far enough without investing in a company with no margin for profit. Okay, why don't we go back and talk to the other guy again as well, because he seemed to know something. Maybe his friends do too. Hello. It's a pleasure to meet you. Where is Lambert? Landebert. My advice, soldier, cut your ties and run. Your shining company will be naught but a puppet that dances to the Syndicate's tune. I'm sure that's not true. Alphino is a very clever boy and would never, ever, ever expose himself and us, and so the cosmic order of the world, to danger by getting in bed with ill-intentioned donors. It's just like Hillary said. What's he supposed to do? Not take the money? Ethelwine, all of Eorzea foams at the mouth whenever a new Sunsilk design is revealed. My colleagues and I are always under enormous pressure. Yellow Moon. I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me. Is this some new-fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? Well, you are wasting your time. This lady has already spoken for. Good day to you, sir. How are we deciding on these individuals to broach for recruitment? Some of them we've met. I guess maybe we met her at some point. It's been a longer than we thought kind of a journey. Lurking Leech, all these pretty people in their fancy clothes. Fanciest thing I've ever worn is a suit of mail, which is beginning to smell. Orkin, Calamity Salvager, and Recompense Officer. Oh yeah, those are just reward dudes. Orkin. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I'm Orkin, the Church of Saint Adamalandama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. Most upsetting business. You're here with your companion, Thancred, wasn't it? No, we wanted this to succeed. Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. The proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. If just personally asking every individual on the street if they would like to join our paramilitary death squad. Sure. Sure. This is the sensible way to go about these things. We're following the science. I don't like that there's two different paths here, but can I just teleport to the Royal Road? That seems like the best way forward, don't you think? What's it called? The Chamber of Rule. Still up here, boyo? What have you achieved? Violet just posted some kind of abomination in ASCII. Should look at it. Okay, Alphino, it's been real, but let's wrap this up, why don't we? How fared you, Erwin? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A A single Alamegan youth. Now, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who've risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Erwin. I will not squander the precious gift you placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. Uh-huh. And we did not mention the syndicate stuff. Okay, weird. And yes, we are free to begin. As you've no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed, and the finances secure. About that, there is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. That was amazing. I gotta review the footage on that. That was incredible. You are concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will never be built on corruption, of course not. Naturally, I prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. As for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company's had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn the people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for United Eorzea. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. For sure. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you, game, for once again showing willingness to teleport me where I need to go. Unless we're just watching this blimp leave. Unless we're just watching it leave. This is the perfect place in the soundtrack for us to be. I wonder if it cut deliberately to a specific spot in it. I think there'll be more and more of that as we progress. They definitely do time music through cutscenes. I've seen interviews talking about it. Voiced? Voiced? Voiced?
Tell me, General.
Yes.
What think you of Alphino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea.
It's an armless endeavor.
Well, do I understand his impatience. Since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together.
His impatience would be a great title for an emperor.
Problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation.
Could somebody else do that, please?
Behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body.
It was just some strays, lady.
Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong.
And that's usually the job of the grand companies to
A
do.
significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate, that those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army.
It's not an extraordinary gathering of warriors. It's just some people we picked up off the street.
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them.
I deem it unwise to
As
deny
for
them.
finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies.
This is extremely
And with the
naive.
presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor, I doubt the warrior of light would betray our cause.
Strictly speaking, I can't. You see, I've been enslaved by a god.
Yes, there is that, I suppose.
Oh, well, yeah, then it's all
Yet
fine.
I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
Sure it could. Fucking go arrest him, execute him.
Explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace.
Execute him.
On law now stands. We lack the evidence to convict him of any crime.
So do it extrajudicially.
Arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
Not if you cut those hands off. He'd committed no crime by ordering fire on protesters. I mean,
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing?
only if you abide by this liberal order, which you are a queen. You are a hereditary monarch.
Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Technically, the Queen of England has the right to dissolve, not directly, but her governor has the right to dissolve the Parliament of Australia at any time. And this has happened once in the 70s, I believe. And then the Australians just affirmed the decision to dissolve the government, in spite of having been quite rightly enraged by the decision for it to happen at all. They went ahead and voted along with what the governor had basically implied.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Now, you would hope that when a royally appointed governor dissolves a democratically elected body like that it might bring about some rumblings of independence. It did not, at least not meaningfully. Oh shit, there's the bad music back. Let's get the fuck out of here. One can only think that she must have more authority than the governor of Australia, even if this is technically not a fully totalitarian monarchy. Music back. She could do something. The idea that a queen need abide by laws is an intriguing one. And false. Act. What you're not willing to do is take risks. That's what I'm seeing here. We've seen these before. No change in dialogue here yet. Into the solar with us. Does a solar need a skylight? I think of solars as having skylights. Let me check. Solar may derive from being the room with the brightest aspect, or from solus, as in alone. It is where the well-to-do of the home can seek that solace, solitude. So I suppose it meets that description. With the primal threat presently subdued, now is the perfect time to focus on new endeavors. Alphino's long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into reality. I think we've heard this one before. I'm fading. That is a journey that is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. Fading. But I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Erwin. I'm certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free from other duties. We did it! Heretical harassment. Greetings, Erwin. Alphino tells me that all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is all set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tataru is cooperating with Alphino to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Schlafburn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Yes, I always love speaking to Schlafburn. I'd love to talk to that boy. Oh, wait, we're gonna go right to Schlafburn, but have there been dialogue changes? Nope, still no changes. To Schlafburn. Where you at, big man? There he is, always standing before that door. Isn't that the foundry? Let's disable auto progress, because I'm sure this is not going to be voiced.
What can I do for you, Longpoint? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out this new arm of the Scions. Bah, I barely noticed your recruits arrive. 'Twas barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters you have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run.
Schlafburn, the shipment. We couldn't... Godswoman, what befell? We were bringing the shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were so many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There's not to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, and this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery, each god would need to be informed. Did they turn into dragons? Whence did these supplies originate? As for Tom, we collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see they are praised of this development. Long point, we are not on good terms with the Knights of House Fortom. I will be sending them the missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Oh boy. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. We can't keep that voice up very well for very long. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Rochefort would be glad for your assistance. Yeah, he loves seeing me. Rochefort is just my very best boy. Let's head on over there. Thank God they're not making us go to the one in the south. This whole zone is a church. Hey, Rochefort. Is this the underground people fighting again? This seems like the underground people fighting again. What the fuck? Rochefort, there's the teleporting people again. Well, if it isn't my fine friend Longpoint Arrowin. Would you care for a plate of roast caracol, some mulled wine? No. I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I wasn't. This is awful. This music needs to stop. I was in fact on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. Please let me out of this dialogue so I can turn off that fucking music when the cold sets in. Oh, I hope that there wasn't different music here, because we're not going to hear it. It probably was, too.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest.
What's your intrigue? I guess we're your neighbors.
Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil.
Weird hermit kingdom thing they got going on.
Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed.
Seems more like fait accompli in these parts.
Poor fortune,
Same shit was going on last time I was here, wasn't it? Yeah.
These incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day.
Really? Dire.
This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name.
Don't worry, we're gonna learn every single thing about her.
I speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve.
Well, we know the kind of thing that committed collectives can achieve.
Have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait?
What choice do I have?
Halone's blessings be upon you.
Thanks.
Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes.
I'm a Godslayer.
Might be otherwise.
No, I would still be better at it than them. Let's just be clear. All this specialized generational knowledge you have is as naught.
You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long.
Yeah, I mean, regard me.
Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Cool. Well, I love doing errands for the bizarre fealty chains here up in the north. But that's gonna have to wait till next time. Why is this zone so weird? Why are there people underground popping up damage numbers? I will never understand. And it will be into this incomprehension that we return when we return. See you soon.